Thank you for tuning into The Love Coach Show, hosted by me, Bruce Starr. On this show, you will learn a lot about relationships from me, the Love Coach, and my many interesting guests. And now, welcome to The Love Coach Show with Bruce Starr. Starting in 1993, I opened up a room on America Online when it was just in the very beginning stages of internet social communicating. And I opened up a room called Relationship Coaching. And anyone that was brave enough to come in, came into the room, and usually the first thing they asked me was, "Are you for real?" And I told them, well, you never know unless you try me. And then they said, well, where do I start? And I said, start at the most important part. Over the next 10 years, from 1993 to 2003, I had 6,000 conversations, documented, intimate, real conversations with people from all around the country. And I was in that room to help people. And I did. I helped a lot of people, helped them think out their situations, work out their broken hearts. And it was very, very rewarding. But one of the things that I didn't count on was how much I would learn from those thousands of people that I had conversations with. And I really learned a lot. And a lot of what I share with you comes from what turns out to be now the research I did with those 6,000 detailed, intimate, documented conversations. So many times when I present a discussion with you, it's actually not a discussion, it's kind of a one-way discussion. But when I present information to you, it's not just me thinking out something and just spewing what I think is right or important, but it's truly what I learned over a 10-year period of time. And in addition to all the other things I learned in my 40-year self-study, but those conversations that I had really opened up my eyes to the challenges and problems so many people were having in their relationships. And so what I'm going to share with you today is just one aspect, just one part, but a major part of relationships, why they work, but really many times why they're not working. And we're going to start with this very, very important concept that I've come up with just recently, but I'm going to share that with you now. I've given this presentation a few times, and it's called, Are You Out of Your Mind to Be in Love? Are you out of your mind to be in love? Are you out of your mind to be in love? Which one of those ways that I said that did you hear the most? You know, as a generation of people, we have switched from something that has worked for 5,000 to 10,000 years to a way that simply does not. In the name of progress, we now choose who we date or consider as possible future mates by what we think about them instead of what we feel about them. Are you out of your mind to be in love? You know, there are many ways that simple statement can be interpreted. One way could simply mean, are you out of your mind to wanting to be in love? Well, that would be pretty optimistic, but an outlook that a lot of people in the world have about relationships right now. But that's not quite what I was getting at. What I'd like you to consider is, can you get out of your mind and back into your heart to be in love? Since the feelings of love do not originate from the head, it can only come from the heart. Thoughts about love come from the mind, but not feelings of love. Secondly, you need to be out of your mind and back in your heart to be in love. As much as many people want it, we cannot scan through love with our cell phones, our scanners, or our computer. I am stating that texting can be the most insensitive, non-mysterious way of communicating. Don't do it, especially in the beginning of a relationship when exploring the mystery of each other can be so important to the chances of a successful relationship. Who can't relate to this? I've been texting you all day. Where have you been? Well, I've had my a phone off, or whatever the answer is. Texting, don't do it. Texting is a tracker. It prevents mystery. You need to be mysterious in the beginning of relationships. Being able to be tracked with your texts just doesn't do it. And I'm sure you know it by now. But you and your friends have said, everybody's doing it. That doesn't make it right. When we come back, more about learning about, are we out of our minds to be in love? We'll be right back after these brief messages. Don't go away. You're listening to The Love Coach Show. My name is Bruce Starr. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Dynamic information that makes sense to you and that helps you go in a direction when it comes to dating that starts to make more sense than what's been in your life right now that doesn't work or has not been working. Okay, so let's get back to the information that we were talking about. Are you out of your mind to be in love? We are thinking about who we want to be with when we do that, rather than what we feel about them. When we are in our minds about love, we're thinking about them. We're thinking about what we want. We're not feeling about what we want. By choosing someone with our minds, I guess the plan is, and I can fully relate, I guess the plan is, if we protect our hearts and move forward with our minds, we won't get our feelings hurt. By choosing someone without getting our feelings or heart involved, and instead think about who we will be with, we erroneously believe we are sparing ourselves from future heartbreak. Instead of choosing someone because they make us laugh or make our hearts beat faster, we all remember that. We all remember having our hearts beat faster when we were around someone that we were crazy about when we were younger, or because we get that tingly feeling in our souls that makes us high with wonder. We have turned to thinking about who would create the best deal possible for us and our future. That just doesn't work in my book. Instead of wanting to be with someone because we feel our heart swell with joy, we as an entire community of people make choices by deciding who has the most to offer us in the long run, instead of who has the biggest heart. I say relationships based on thoughts, well, they look like they can work in the beginning, or else we wouldn't be doing it. Why would a whole generation of people think about their relationships, think about who they pick if they didn't think it would work, and that it does work? Well, I'm going to tell you why relationships based on thoughts do not work. Why? It's very simple. For hundreds to thousands of years, people came together because they met and grew fond of each other, and if things went well, they eventually fell in love with each other. Well, that has all changed now. We now think like computers. Instead of leading with our hearts and picking someone for who they are and how we feel about them, we have computerized our approach to find the best deal possible by picking them for what they have. Now, this is so common, you are asking yourself right now, what is this guy getting at? What is his problem? Here is what I'm getting at. The reason this can never work in the long run is by choosing a mate by what we think about them, our minds change all the time. The heart doesn't change, but the mind does. That is the nature of human creativity. We add to what our mind knows and understands all the time. We get introduced to new factors, new people, new things every minute, every hour, and every day. Many times, we treasure what we learned or were introduced to most recently over what we learned last week, last month, or last year. Many believe that what was just acquired by the mind is more up to date and thus more accurate than what we came to learn, observe, or perceive in the past. Here's a good example. Have you looked for a document on your computer and recognized that there were several versions of it? One may have been from 2 years ago, another from last year, still another from last month. Which document do you generally choose to work with? Well, I think many choose the most recent one, of course. Why? Because you have observed and witnessed new information over time that seems to be more valuable than what you documented in the past. In other words, your mind changes all the time, and you naturally think what you are observing, experiencing, or thinking about right now is more important and relevant than what you thought about or believed to be true in the past. Okay, we are getting closer and closer to what I'm getting at. So let's do this. Let's take a break. You're listening to the Love Coach Show. My name is Bruce Starr. When we come back, you're going to learn information that could possibly change you for the rest of your life, and I hope it does. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Don't miss this.
When businesses want short-term answers for problems they have not been able to solve on their own, they bring in knowledgeable, experienced consultants. Why not do the same for your long-term challenges and problems concerning love, sex, dating, and your relationships? An experienced relationship coach can help you through, understand, and cast aside fear and intimacy issues that have prevented you from having the happiness you deserve. You have worked long and hard and have everything but love in your life. Why not have your own relationship coach guide you through every step of the process that will bring you closer to having a soulmate in your life? Don't wait another minute to let go of destructive, unproductive habits to find love. Mention you heard this on my show and receive a free 10-minute consultation. Contact me at lovecoach@AOL.com. That's LUVCOACH@AOL.com. A relationship coach can help you have everything and love in your life.
And welcome back to the Love Coach Show. My name is Bruce Starr, and we are going to be talking about some incredibly dynamic information here. So let's get started. I'm going to cushion what I'm going to say next to you so that you can stay open to the message or possibility. It may seem like a gross exaggeration, or it may sound spot on for either yourself or people that you know. I don't share this with you to get you angry or upset with me or anybody else. I'm telling you this so that you can see clearly that what is generally admired and accepted by the masses in our generation right now as the way to proceed when looking for relationships is simply not in our deepest and best interest. Now, if what I say does not apply to you at all, fine. Use it as a learning tool for what not to do if you get tempted to go in this direction in the future. So, what I'm going to explain does not apply to everyone, of course, but it does apply to people who have made some wrong choices for the wrong reasons in the past. I will try to explain how we got to making some of those wrong choices. Again, try to be open-minded to some of the reasoning you're about to hear, keeping in mind that not everyone or everything I will describe will you be able to relate to. Okay, so here is really why thinking relationships, making choices for what you think about people, looking for the best deal, intellectual choices, rather than love for a reason to be getting together, does not work. So many have either gone in this direction or have heard of many others making this choice in life. So here it is. Stereotypically, now don't get mad at me or hate the messenger. Many females choose a man for financial security. Okay, I said it. In other words, for what that person has, their career, the income they say they have, the house and the neighborhood they live in, or what toys they play with, such as boats or fast cars. Now, of course, people are already mad at me. I don't do that. Just listen in. Women, when it is obvious that the choice you are making is from thinking about the best deal for yourself, do you really believe men don't know this? Do you think we think that you find us so lovable and desirable, even if we're 50 pounds overweight or in our 60s, because of how wonderful we are or how irresistible we seem to you? We know why you're open to being with us. none of us are really that naive. It comes with a cost to us men, believe me. The result is we feel insecure as to why you chose us, whether we realize it or not. Okay. Ladies, you cannot deny you get certain surgeries, wear certain types of clothing to show off your most desirable physical attributes that you know will attract a person looking for arm candy or hopefully eventually the trophy wife. The problem is, are there any signs of love and kindness anywhere from what I just described? You know, it's all fun and great to go for relationships, sexy relationships, but here lies the problem. Here we go. These relationships are based on false hopes and negative foundations lacking in love. These thoughts and beliefs bring up deep fears and insecurities from both participants. Men, you know in the back of your mind that no matter how great you think you are, how deserving you are to have someone incredible in your life, you either secretly or knowingly know if we meet someone because we told them all about our expensive car, our financial success, to get the girl that night or maybe even for many nights, we were picked for what we have or do, not for who we are. We know this. This is no secret. Women, no matter how big a heart you have, no matter how much you want to be in love and have someone terrific in your life, you know in the back of your mind that if you were chosen because of the way you looked and the size of your body parts, you know because you showcased yourself to this person when you went out to meet others. This is what made their decision to pursue you. You took part in this trade exchange as eagerly as the man. Boy, I can hear and feel temperatures rising now. Now, I don't tell you this to play the blame game, but it is totally useless to blame the man if things don't work out because of the approach you chose to take. Hopefully, after hearing all this, you will also not blame yourself, but realize that a new world of potential is available if you can give up this tactic to meet someone. Now we are getting closer and closer to what is really at the base of these kinds of relationships that don't work. But we are at the end of this show. I'm going to continue talking about this subject on the next time that we meet. So please look for the show. Look for what we talk about. Look for love and relationships and what works, not what doesn't work. You're listening to The Love Coach Show. My name is Bruce Starr. Tune in again next time to get more information about love and not things that don't work in the pursuit of relationships. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for listening to The Love Coach Show, hosted by me, Bruce Starr. If you would like to contact me or the guest on this show, write me at lovecoach, L-U-V coach, @AOL.com. And until next time, bye-bye.